It's a tough thing, I think, to make shooters very viewable. How are you guys trying to change things from how other shooters do it? Because I've tried to watch other shooters and esports.
Well, one thing we're concentrating on is we think making a game that's great for players, that's very readable, that's understandable, that as a player I can understand. That's also the same as if you're a spectator, if you're someone who's trying to broadcast the game. It does all the heavy lifting. And what I think, and what excites me a lot about Overwatch is that Overwatch creates so many unique stories, unique moments, crazy things that happen, with all 21 heroes, and they all interact with each other in some ways. A lot of times we haven't even thought, we didn't even expect, we didn't know. But I think there'll be a lot of stories. As someone that's maybe casting, a match of Overwatch, they'll have a lot of interesting stories to tell. And I think that's a lot of what makes, for a good esport, it's being able to tell stories, being able to understand it as a spectator, and that stuff, on the systems as far as observer, casting, that's stuff we're going to work on in the future, definitely.
We know we have some challenges too because our game is pretty over the top. You know what I mean?
It's fast.
The movement, following Tracer around for people that don't know. We have some ideas. We have some things that we think can make it a little easier for people that don't understand the game necessarily 100% to be able to watch it. And we're excited to share it. We're not doing it right now.
I can barely keep track of it when I'm playing, whether I'm trying to watch it or someone else. Too fast. And there's a lot of flash as well. Some of the abilities are really quite bright and things like that. How are you guys pretty happy with kind of where a lot of those explosions and things are at?
Oh, the visual effects and stuff?
Yeah.
I think we're always looking at that stuff. I think at some point some things. I mean, we're heads down in the development, and we're trying to refine as much as possible based on feedback. I think there's always room to look at it. It's interesting because I think watching it is different than playing it. There's a lot of things where sometimes there was some feedback from people that watch it that weren't really into the gasp noise that happens. It's different than the visual effects, but it's kind of the same line, which is that gasp noise that happens when you're in low health is one of the biggest indicators when you're playing that you're at low health.
Yeah, so you don't have to look at the corner.
Exactly, or have an effect obscure all your vision. So for us, we look at the visual effects the same way. I think once you're playing, it's a little bit different, but we're always looking at that stuff.
Yeah.
You were mentioning earlier those epic stories and moments where I think one of a lot of people's favorite things about the game is the play of the match, right? Ever since it was first showcased last BlizzCon, that was one of the big standout features. Yeah. One thing I think would be interesting, I'm curious if you guys have thought about this, is the potential of making that a little deeper in terms of maybe tracking skill shots. There's a very small handful of other shooters out there that track things like the difficulty of the shot that was made, because at the moment it's mostly multi-kills. Right.
Mostly. That's something we're also looking to improve, the play of the game. We know there's a lot of work to do, as you said. Right now, a lot of it is just how many kills you get in a certain window. Yeah. But we are looking for ways to track really cool things that happen, tracking. It's I just knocked this guy off of the map, and he falls to his death. That's
or sniped charging right hard to save a friend.
Right.
Those are gonna be cool.
Identifying those cool moments is something we're definitely working on to improve that feature.
Yeah, because capturing those moments in an awesome way is so exciting. And do you think it'll be possible at some point to save these things? Save your favorite?
We think that would be awesome.
Yes.
That's one of the things. It's one of the even for us. Once we put it in, we're yeah, I kind of want that.